Good day, my friends. Froggy here. This was the last trip I made up to Pender Harbour, October 2015. Yeah, I also had a bunch of clips left over from up here. I thought I'd put something together and try my lips at narrating. Anyway, from the top of Madeira Park down this long hill called Misery Mile. It's not too misery anymore, but we're at the base of and going around the base of Gumbo Bay. I call this my shadow clip, and it was kind of cool because I bought some new Savage rims forged in the United States, but I want to keep an eye on the shadow of them and see if I can take note on what speed next time I'm traveling to make them stop. And yeah, I thought it was kind of cool to show this one off. This is also the base of Mount Daniel, which has a lot of history at the local area. And coming around this bend here, we're going towards the Garden Bay turnoff. This whole area here is called Clydesdale. It's also known as the Little Green Valley. Clydesdale was named after the notorious Clines, who moved here in 1912 and set up logging and sawmill operations. They supplied the massive timbers that built the first landmark, Lumberman's Arch, in Vancouver's Stanley Park. Not sure if you're interested in looking up the history of the Clines or the Clydesdale. But there is a book published at harborpublishing.com/title/Little Green Valley. And yeah, if you look up the description of that book, there's some interesting tales there to be told, for sure. As we cruise on here, we'll be getting out of the tree line. Opens up to view the valley, Little Green Valley, and we're coming up to the Garden Bay turnoff. This is the Petrocan. It's the only gas station actually between Seashelt and going over the Rose Cove Sultry Bay Ferry towards Paul River. So make sure you fuel up. It's got 91 octane gas, which is a good bike fuel, and I try to fill up at Chevrons with their 94, but don't find too much of a difference, I guess. Across the street over there is the Pender Harbour Diesel auto service. Got a little auto store, which is nice. I've had to pick up a few tools there. And yeah, it's all good here. I love it. Well, it's time to turn it on. Heading back. I came here just to fill up, I guess, to head back to reality, which I don't particularly like. I'll leave the pipe noise on here until we get up to speed. After that, it's pretty much just a lot of wind, so I normally take that out. That's better. Just changing my GoPro angle over to my left side, and of course I've got a smoke in my mouth. And yeah, it's all cool in the James Dean days. Say that, but still a bad habit. Up for a bit here, we'll view a little bit more of the Clydesdale Valley before hitting the tree line. Speaking of which, nobody really knows for sure where Clydesdale starts and ends. Rumor has it it starts from the foot of Misery Mile up to the local high school, just a couple clicks past Garden Bay Road, and down Garden Bay Road to Percival's Black Angus farm. And I'm sure it covers a few hectares, to say the least. Rolling on here, we'll be coming up to Gumbo Bay again. And yeah, I lived in Gumbo Bay for about 7-8 years, raising the kids in this part. And yeah, lived on the water there. It was really nice. Dock, couple boats, scuba diving, fishing, just touring around. And I'm going to slow it down here just a little bit. That's the driveway going down to the water. And it was a really nice area. It's really come around the bend here. This is Mel Sabina Ranch virtually takes everything from the whole area from this corner to that corner. You'll see some of the water there on the right a little bit. You see more when the leaves are off the trees. And yeah, it's quite a nice little bay, and opens up to the whole harbor as well by water. We're going to be going up Misery Mile. They made a lot of changes. Passing lanes, smoothed out the road a little bit. Gives you an awesome chance to throw on a little throttle if you get my drift. Speaking of drift, whether you're new or know these roads really well on a bike, in the summertime there's also a lot of trailers, and they'll be going around some of the sharper corners a little fast and hitting the shoulder, which is gravel, and spitting it on there. So I'm the first one that knows what it's like to be a human tumbleweed. So ride safe and keep your eyes up front. We're going to be passing by shortly on the right a place called Fiberworks Studio Gallery, dealing with fiber art, basketry, paper, textiles, wood, blah blah blah. And yeah, it's awesome. And what's unique about it is their huts that they do it in, and they're called yurts. Yurts go back for many centuries. They stem from the Central Asia region. Mongolian nomads such as Genghis Khan in the early 12th century used them as portable tents and larger yurts on wheels pulled by ox. Yeah, this is a quick view of Mount Daniel. Legend has it Seashell First Nation used the peak, called Swiss Cham, as a lookout for threats. It's also said their young maidens made ceremonial rituals celebrating the rite of passage at puberty and leaving a small circle of rocks called moon rings. Here's a quick photo of from the peak, looking down on the harbor there. Madeira Park, Francis Peninsula, near the back is Texada Island, and further back is Vancouver Island. We're at the top of Misery Mile now, and this is passing by the new Pender Harbour Hotel. The old one burnt down in September 30th, 2013. This one should be opening here soon in early 2016. So yeah, I had lots of fun there back then. Drank there when I was old enough to drink, maybe even a bit before. So lots of good times. And yeah, this is going to be the turn off to down to the town of Madeira Park, where they have the IGA store. They got a special butcher shop. You can get pizza, lots of little cafes and ice cream parlor, a few shops and whatnot. Quite nice. Get down to the government wharf down there, look at the boats. Quite nice. Winding around Lily Lake now is a quaint little lake in Madeira Park. Lots of things to do, picnic. They got a walkway all around the back there, and even trumpeter swans have been seen. Since the Pender Harbour Housing Society built Lily Lake Place, they really needed to expand that walkway between Madeira Shopping and the Francis Peninsula Medical Clinic. Not only for motorized or not wheelchairs, bicycles, baby carriages, fitness walkers, etc., etc. It's about a 4-kilometer trek, and having no bus or taxi service makes it a great safe trail for people to commute and or sightsee. Just after Lily Lake here is the Pender Harbour Medical Clinic and Francis Peninsula Road. I think I called it opposite there before. My lips were on the road and my mind was on the clinic. Anyway, this is the building supplies here, local, right across. As a matter of fact, I used to work here when it was called Pender Harbour Building Supplies, now owned by Rona. Go figure. I'm back. Anyway, sorry about the call. My buddy Tim from CR Cycle giving me an update on my caliper parts. I'm going to rebuild them all before this next biking season. Anyway, up here in Madeira Park, we're about 60 kilometers from Langdale. We're going to be going around a couple of tighter turns here to back up to my par's place. Here's one of the turns I was talking about, the gravel spitting on the road. So again, be cautious. We'll be coming up to the driveway here. I'll recognize it from the mailboxes on the side. He's got about 16 acres here, woodland. He's got lots of trails and stuff. There's a few spots nice spots to bring up some guests, do some biking and do some camping and have a fire and party. On the left here will be the big house, big yard. Really nice view overlooking Georgia Strait towards Vancouver Island. Up in the back here, got about a 15-17 foot trailer I stay in. There's also a big deck to enjoy, and there's the wheelbarrow wood for tonight's fire, which you'll see in part 2 of this episode. There's a big pond here on the left, and yeah, there's the picnic table where we'll be having our little fire. There's the trailer. On the left here, we're going to be clearing out the land there a little bit to make another little cabin. A couple of them yurts would be cool. There's the bathtub. Yeah, fill it with water, let the sun heat it, and hop in, wash up. Anyway, yeah, all's good. It's beautiful. Well, we said our goodbyes, and it's time to turn to lawn. And in doing so, we're passing by Trout Lake, which is the Half Moon Bay area. It's also the local residential water reservoir, so, you know, no power boats are allowed. Electric is fine. Canoes, kayaks, fishing, swimming, etc., etc. is all good here. Trout Lake is also well known for the recreational trails, and there's lots of them for hiking, mountain bikers, and you might even find the odd soul on horseback. Here's a little map showing some of the trails, the yellow being one of the main loops, and it's about a 15-kilometer trek. And yeah, it's all well marked out. If you think you're going to get lost, take a copy of the map with you. And yeah, enjoy if you're going to do that. Now, this is Davis Bay, just outside of Seashelt, traveling towards Vancouver. And it's a slow day. In the summertime, this place is just packed with people. So expect to be traveling by here like a slug. The piers are great. The government has done a great job in rebuilding them, and yeah, they're worth a walkabout. The shoreline is pretty much pebble. Got a total paved walkway all the way down the opposite side of the road. There's a few motels, a couple restaurants, a place to have a beer. There's an Indian art store, and even a church for them that want to praise. Nearing the end here, Davis Bay, just out here when the tide is low, there's a huge sand spit and forms little pools and stuff where you can walk about and see some of the tidal critters that pop up. And right here is they have set up a kind of a food wagon there as well. There's the bathrooms, and yeah, it's quite a nice beach, quite a nice place to visit. I'm going to finish off this clip with a pic my partner Chris took from the helmsman deck on the BC ferries. And no, I'm not the guy in the runners, the green shorts, the black vest and blue cap. I prefer black sweatpants, black t-shirt, and a do-rag to match. Occasionally I'll wear jeans, chaps, and my James Dean tie, but nevertheless, these clips of the Sunshine Coast is just a spit in the bucket. Also, my first narration video. Hope you enjoyed, and keep up, ride safe, and cheers.